And before we continue with today's session, it is so important that we do an acknowledgement of traditional lands. Royal Roads University acknowledges that the campus is located on the traditional lands of the Cosaxum, Esquimalt, and Lekwungen Songhees ancestors and families. It is with gratitude that we now learn and work here, where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. Welcome. So today's session, Doctor of Business Administration, we have Dr. Hassan Wafai with us today. He's the program head of the DBA. Thanks for joining us. And my name is Emara Angus, and I'm an education specialist, and we'll be hosting today's session. We also have Tracy Summers behind the scenes. She is an enrollment advisor, and she'll be able to answer any questions in the chat, and she's a great resource. So make sure to introduce yourself to Tracy in the chat. And today's agenda is a get to know one another. I know we're doing that right now, so welcome and nice to meet everyone. We're also going to do a brief overview of the Royal Roads University experience. We're going to go through program-specific information, the application process and requirements, and questions throughout. So if you're anything like me and a question comes up, sometimes it's hard to remember it for the end. So you're welcome to pop it in the chat, and we'll do our best to either answer it throughout the session, or we will come to it at the end, but pop it in the chat as the question comes up. So a bit more about Royal Roads University. I know that's one of the questions, is why explore Royal Roads University? We also call it RRU. Well, here at Royal Roads, we see life as a qualification. We really know that every single person in the room today is coming to us from a different background, different experience, different career evolution, and we recognize it. And that's what makes our program special, is we have people from such a diverse background all joining us together in one program. And it's so important that we know your name. So at Royal Roads University, you're not a student number to us. Profs at the university know your name, and that's important. And we do our best to get to know your name very quickly, and we really do know everyone on a first names basis. And we really believe in that learning based on life, where there's not that division of theory and practice. It's all connected and integrated in the program. And there's also a cohort model. So there's connections built for life. So the people in your program, they're your peers, they're your colleagues, they'll be people that you will stay connected with for the rest of your life. And from day one here at Royal Roads University, we were built differently. And we're gonna go through that a bit more in today's session. We're also an Ashoka U Changemaker campus. So Royal Roads University, we have a role as a leader for change and social innovation. And we've actually been recognized for that role with our designation as an Ashoka U Changemaker campus. And we've really committed to change making across our institution and beyond. And this is our space. So you might recognize the top left image, that's Hatley Castle. Give me a thumbs up reaction if you recognize it from movies such as X-Men or Deadpool. And give me a party emoji, actually, if you don't recognize it, but you're gonna go watch those movies later. So that's the top left, that's Hatley Castle. That's actually a castle on our campus. And then the top right is a beautiful bridge in the gardens that we have on campus. The gardens are beautiful. I wander through them quite often on my lunch break when I'm on campus. We have so many acres of land to walk through, wander, hike. On the bottom left is an image of Esquimalt Lagoon. So we're actually located right on the water at a lagoon. And from Hatley Castle, you can see this beautiful lagoon and the Olympic Peninsula and the ocean. It's quite a beautiful view from campus. And then on the bottom right, that image is an ode to, we've been doing online learning and teaching for over 25 years. And now I'm so pleased to welcome Dr. Hassan Wafai up to speak more about the DBA and program structure. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mara. I also would like to thank Tracy and Kelsey who are behind the scene supporting us and supporting you. Please feel free to put your questions on the chat as we go. So I will be happy to stop, pause, and pick up on your questions. So My name is Hassan Wafai, and clearly from my name, from my accent, I was born outside Canada, and I joined Royal Road in 2013. I'm also associate professor of operation and supply chain management at School of Business. I'm the DBA also program head. I don't think I have control over the slide. Is that correct, Emara? So I need to give you a sign, like, Harry, go ahead. Okay, what is a Doctor of Business Administration, a DBA? From the name, it's a doctoral degree. Doctor of Business Administration at Royal Road is a unique to British Columbia and Canada. When I say unique, that is meaning that it's different from from any other doctoral program, and we're going to explain a little bit why it's different. The key difference I will refer to later on as its hybrid model. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But for now, I would like to highlight it is unique to British Columbia and Canada. DBA program is a research-based doctoral degree oriented to applied business management research. Now, there are so many DBA programs all over the world. These are course-based programs. Royal Road DBA, it's a research-based. And that's one of the uniqueness of one of the features of the DBA program. So it's a research-based, it's not a course-based. It focuses on applied research. And when we say applied research, we're referring to practice-oriented research. It's also one of its uniqueness, or one of its unique feature, it's a blended design. The blended design meaning that it's a combination of intensive residency, intensive on-campus residency, we call it residency, and online components. So basically, students come to campus for a short period of time, very intensive period, and do the rest of the program online. That allows students to keep their job, continue with whatever they're doing in their life, at the same time will be able to do their doctoral program. So it's designed to help actually working professionals, designed for working professionals. And to that point, as Emara mentioned, Royal Road University, it's specialized in adult education. That's mean this is our niche, our market, our focus, our expertise is to support working professionals. Most of our programs at Royal Road University are designed for working professionals. We have small number of programs designed for young, fresh graduate, I mean, high school graduate and undergrad, but most of our programs are designed for working professional, and DBA is no different in that sense. Royal Road DBA is designed to integrate applied professional orientation of a professional doctorate with research emphasis of a PhD. And that's another, and that is the hybrid model I'm referring to, which is one of its key features. It's that the combination of the traditional doctoral program, like a PhD program, and the applied focus of today DBA programs. To explain a little bit here, I'm sure you heard from friends, colleagues who did their doctorate. They went through kind of like a process of developing research. That's PhD. Now, a PhD program, however, is designed to produce faculty members. That's not always what students want. On the other hand, as I said, many DBA programs are course-based program. It's kind of like an extended version of MBA. The DBA, Royal Road DBA, combines both. It's still research focused. It still have the focus on applied research. So that's a hybrid model that combines the strengths of both models. Next slide, Emara, please. Thank you. So a program at a glance, it's 60 credit program, like any other doctoral program, 60 credit program. It has hybrid design. And again, hybrid design, it's the design that combines the strength of conventional PhD program with the applied focus of conventional DBA program. It's a focus on knowledge production. So that's important. During the DBA program, the focus will be on producing knowledge, adding to human knowledge, contributing to existing literature, to existing body of knowledge. That's the focus of a DBA program, while in the master program, the focus will be on applying knowledge rather than producing knowledge. So as a doctoral degree, the focus is on producing knowledge or knowledge production. The program length is 4 to 7 years. Some students being able to do it in a little bit less than 4 years, but normally we refer to it as a 4-year, and it could go up to 7 years, and that depends on your research, on your progress. I see here a question from Ali. Ali, hi, this is Ali from Lebanon. Is it AACBS accredited? Are you referring to Royal Road University School of Business? So School of Business at Royal Road University, it's not AACSB accredited, but that accreditation is most relevant to MBA and master degree. At PhD and doctoral level, it's no longer very, I would say, wouldn't be very relevant, at least from my perspective. Royal Road University is a public university. It's one of the 5 research university in PC. So it's a public university in Canada. We don't feel that we need to go for accreditation. The focus of our program on working professionals. So we have a different way to position ourselves in the education sector. Hope I addressed your question, Ali. Thank you. You're most welcome, Ali. Francis, do you get a PhD at the end, or you get a DBA? You get a DBA. You get a DBA, Doctor of Business Administration. You don't get PhD. This is not a PhD program. This is a DBA program. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, next Thursday, I have another session on Thursday. Is that correct, Emara? Thursday?
Yes, that is correct. And I'll pop a link in the chat so everybody can register.
Thursday, and I'm going to talk more about the difference between PhD and DBA and why someone would like to go PhD option and why someone would like to do a DBA option. But quickly, I can say, if you're planning to work in academia and only in academia, then PhD might be an option for you. If you want to widen your option, broader your option, have a broader options to, for example, work in academia and in the industry, or one of them. So DBA will be your best option. So DBA allow you to work in academia, allow you to work in the industry as well. Of course, there are other differences that we could explore, and we were going to talk about that on Thursday. How many publications expected during the program? What academic journals? Here you go. And that's PhD. You see, that's a language of PhD. So when you do PhD, it's all about getting, you publish, and you publish in journals, specific journals. And if you fail to publish in specific journals, it's not going to work with you. Now, since we're talking about here producing scholar practitioners, we still recommend publication. We still recommend that you publish, you work on your publication, but we open up the floor for you to publish in academic journal or in practice-oriented journals. And that is not a requirement, it is a recommendation, and we work with you to do this. The total cost of the DBA, we're going to talk a little bit about the total cost of the DBA, and that's a question that Emara will be addressing. Sarah. Yes, it is designed. Thank you. It is designed, Sarah. You're correct. As you mentioned, the DBA program as a blended program is designed to continue working while you studying, and that's very important as you work in your education. So a program length is 4 to 7 year. Delivery, the program, it's a blended cohort-based design. The cohort-based design is also an interesting, unique feature at doctoral education. Why it's unique? Again, in PhD program, it's a very solo journey. You do your research by yourself. You spend 4 or 5 years doing your research. You're working with only one supervisor. Here we're trying to create a cohort for students to support each other. That becomes a safety net. And there is a lot of literature around that. The stress during normal conventional doctoral education is well documented in literature. What we're trying here is trying to create a model, and actually it is a model that will help students deal with the stress as they go through their program. So it's a cohort-based, it's a competency-based research. The focus again on knowledge production in your competency to produce research, competency to add to human knowledge, to body of knowledge that is you are working on. It's a competency to design applied research. Next slide. Did I miss any question here? I see some back and forth. Liva, are any railroad research project available to join during the DBA program? Very good question, Liva. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Liva, is that correct, Liva? No, it's not. Okay, you grab your mic and tell us how is it Eva?
It's Eva. It's I-E-V-I, because the capital I looks the same as lowercase l.
Ah, okay. Could you say it again?
Eva.
Eva. Eva. Okay. Thank you, Eva. It's an important question, Eva. It depends on the area that you are involved in. It depends on your supervisory committee, whether they have a project that you will join them. So I will say it depends. Hope I answered the question.
And we have another question as well, just a little higher up in the chat. Okay, and the question is this suitable for academics?
Yes, it is suitable for academics. So we do have currently a number of our students who are professors in other university in Canada, and they are doing their doctorate because that's what is required for them to get promoted in their job or to get more a tenure track kind of position. So it is acceptable, not just acceptable. In some cases actually it is attractive because it shows that DBA graduates have both professional and academic experience, both of them. So that person can bring the real life experience to classroom. Next slide, Emara. Thank you. So what you see here is the overall structure of the program. So I said it's 4 to 7 year, correct? So we talk about the basic 4 year, in case for someone would like to take it in 4 year. So we divide 4 year into 3 phases. You can see the top of the screen, you can see phase 1. The one, yes, here, the phase 1, correct. You can see Emara is indicating phase 1, and that's a year 1. Phase 1 is 1 year, it course-based year. So you will take a number of courses. You see numbers in boxes, MGMT 700, MGMT 705, 710, and so on. These are courses that are designed for you to get ready to do your research. So this is a phase one. Now, phase two, which is the yes, here you could see, thank you, Emara. Phase two, you go to the next line, phase two, the bottom line here, the self-directed preparation for candidacy exam. It starts with the self-directed, yes, preparation for the candidacy exam. That's phase two, which is another 1 year. It's year two, research preparation. And year two, you will start working with your supervisory committee and your research. Now, phase three, which year three and year four, it is the execution of your research and the writing phase as well. So 3 phases. Year one, again, let me just here recap. Year one, it's course-based. You do the first year, you will do 6 courses in the first year. Once you finish the 6 courses, you will have a supervisory committee to work with you on your research during year two. Year two, there are several milestones. We're going to talk a little bit about these milestones in year two, and this is where you will get your research approved. Year 3 and 4, you will start executing your research in year 3 and 4. So these are 3 stages of or 3 phases of DBA, Royal Road DBA program. Next slide, Emara, please. Now, that's what you see on our website. And that is like the more detailed schedule. So if we use the same language, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, to explain what you see here, the schedule, you could see here, year 1 foundation phase, that's phase 1. And under this, if you can, I mean, let me know if you see year 1 foundation phase in the middle of the screen, almost at the top of the screen. Yes, here you go. Thank you, Emara. Year 1 foundation phase. And under this, you will see 6 courses. And that's a phase 1 course-based year. Now, year 2, you could see you will start your research. There will be no courses in year 2. That's you and your supervisory committee working together. And year 3 and 4, which is the execution and writing phase, you will continue working with your committee on your research. Total is a 60 credit. Next slide, Emara, please. There you go. So as I mentioned, 6 courses in the first year, and these courses are designed to prepare you to start the research. 2 of these courses are about management, thoughts, and practices. I will call them like a refreshment. It helps you to refresh your knowledge about various management schools and management thoughts. And then once you finish these 2 courses, you will have 3 courses about research design. The research design course, the qualitative and the quantitative. And the last course, it's a one-to-one course. We call it self-directed reading. So you work with one instructor, okay, only you and the instructor, to develop your area of expertise in research, which I'm referring here that you dive deep into your area of research. So it's a one-directed reading course, area specialization. So 6 courses, you do these 6 courses in the first year. Once you finish the 6 courses, you will have your supervisory committee and you work with them in phase 2 and phase 3 of the program. Now, the program has 3 residencies. Remember, it's a blended design. To remind you again, a blended design, that's mean a combination of online component and on-campus residency. We call them residency intensive period, you come to Victoria, to a wonderful, beautiful Victoria, to spend 1 or 2 weeks in Victoria. So the residency, we have 3 residency in the program. The first residency, 2 weeks residency. That's the first year, 2-week residency. The second residency is 1 week residency. The third residency is also 1 week residency. The first residency in the first year, second residency in the second year, third residency in the fourth year. And all of them will happen at the same time. That's February. So in February the first year, you will have your first residency. February second year, you will have your second residency. February fourth year, you will have your third residency. Now, for those who did programs at Royal Road, they understand the concept of residency. But at doctoral level, residency looks different. Whereas in your master degree, residency more about courses. So you go from one classroom to another classroom, attending classes while you are on campus. Residency at doctoral level is less about courses, it's more about workshops. So it's designed around workshops. So you will have opportunity to participate in workshops, to present your work. You will have opportunity to attend workshop, to critique others' work. You will have opportunity to attend professional workshop. You will have opportunity to attend scholarly workshop. So it's a completely different design compared to master level. It's still intensive, but it's a different type of intensity. So we have a 3 residency in the DBA program. Can I move to the next slide, please? So key milestones. Of course, the first milestone is your coursework. The first year with 6 courses, that's the first milestones. Once you finish your first milestone, then we work with you to assign, maybe the word assign is not the right word because it's not, supervisory committee is not assigned, it is coordinated. So we work with you to decide on who will be your supervisor and who will be your advisor. Every student will have a principal supervisor and 2 or 3 advisors. Together, they form supervisory committee that will work with the student in second and third and fourth year. So, and the process of coordinating who will be your supervisor will start toward the end of the first year. So by the time you finish your courses, you will have your supervisors and supervisory committee. Now that's another unique features. Why? If you are going to, if you were to do a PhD program, you need to have your supervisors before you start the program. So you need to get approval from a supervisor to adopt you basically before you start the program. While here, we understand that our students are adults, are working professionals, and they need time to work on their research proposal, research idea. They need time to refresh their own knowledge about research design, management theories. So they don't need to have a supervisor before they start the program. We work with them to define who is the best person to support them toward the end of the first year. So this is the first milestone, dissertation supervisory committee. Second milestone is a comprehensive examination. It's what we call candidacy exam. And that is after you finish your coursework, you will have a candidacy exam. And here the term exam, I understand that everyone would think, oh, exam is like a classroom and I have a paper and I'm writing question. No, it's not like this. The exam is different here at doctoral level. You submit your report, which is about your research to your committee. Committee will discuss the report, and then you will have a chance to discuss this report with your committee. Once you finish the candidacy exam, then you will have dissertation proposal, where you will submit your proposal, official proposal, to your committee. Now, when it comes to dissertation proposal, that's different from the initial proposal that you submitted as part of your admission process. The initial proposal, all what we need to have evidence that you have the capacity to develop a research idea. That's all what we need in that initial research proposal. That's a critical component to get admitted to the program, the initial research proposal. Now, once you are in the program, you have the opportunity to work on your initial proposal, to develop it, to improve it, and sometimes to tweak it, change it. Toward the sometime halfway in the second year, then you will submit your formal proposal. That's called dissertation proposal. And the last milestone is dissertation defense. When you finish your thesis and you submit your thesis, and then we will have the dissertation defense. I see a number of questions here on the chat. Emara, did I miss anything? I see a question. Is there an opportunity to meet potential thesis supervisor before thesis proposal? Of course, you will have the opportunity to meet thesis supervisors, not just before the proposal, actually before the candidacy exam. So you will be working with them actually before your candidacy exam. So the final proposal, you will work with your supervisor on that. So you will have, at the time you submit your final proposal, you will have a committee already in place. Did I answer the question? Not clear yet? It's okay if it's not clear.
I mean, before the admission, can consider this university to meet the thesis proposal supervisor, because that's very important part of the thesis development.
Correct. That's a very good question. You are welcome to connect with different faculty members, but you don't know who will be your supervisor at this point. We don't know, and you don't know. So it's very we keep it open in the first year to give all options to our students to make sure that they are clear on what they want to do. And then we work with them to define who is the right supervisor, because supervisor is not only about that, you know, that person is in the same area. We need to make sure also there's a personality fit. The key success factor in doctoral education is supervisor. At Royal Road, you could have a supervisor within Royal Road, I mean, from Royal Road University, or you could have a supervisor from any other institution. And we work with you on defining who is the supervisor. For example, if you're working in an area and you're interested to work in a supervisor in X university in, I don't know, in Ottawa, we connect with that supervisor and we make sure that that person is going to work with you. Of course, it's up to you and to that person to agree on being part of the process. But that is a possibility. Thank you for the question. Very important question.
So we have another two questions that are asking a little bit more about the research and the proposal. And I know we're going to go into that more on Thursday, but just so we can answer it for today as well. The question is, do we need to decide what research theme before joining? And do we have to have a research topic as a prerequisite for admission?
Yes, that is important. That's a key component in the admission process. So you will need to have that initial proposal, what we call initial, it's a 5-page, only 5-page, that's a requirement. Initial proposal, and in this initial proposal, we need to see that you are able to conceptualize a research problem, an initial research problem. Conceptualize an initial research problem. That's it. Sounds simple, but it's not always simple. So it takes time. This is why we have another webinar on Thursday, or maybe Emara will reschedule, but will let us know exactly when that webinar is. It's not actually a webinar. It's more about like, the design of that webinar is more of like a workshop. So we work together and developing your research ideas. So I will explain more how you conceptualize problem. So we will have opportunity to talk more about this, but my short answer is yes, you will need to have an initial research proposal, and that is a key component for us to decide on the admission to the DBA program. Any other question, Emara, on the chat? Did I miss anything?
We had a question about why is this program more expensive?
Oh, that's okay. Why program is more expensive? Now you compare, it depends how you compare the program, and if you compare program to another program, I don't know where, but if you compare apple with apple, DBA from a public university with another DBA from another public university in Canada, we're not. Actually, we are in the middle range. We have more expensive program. We have, of course, a less expensive program, but again, we are within the range of what is acceptable for a DBA program. Again, if you compare Royal Road DBA program with another public university, Royal Road DBA, another DBA program from another public university. Now, I'm using the term public because it's very important here in Canada that you are comparing public with public university. I'm not talking about accreditation here. You could use accreditation, and a private university could take accreditation. That's important, but I'm talking with compare public university to another public university. That's one. Two, you compare DBA with DBA. You don't compare DBA with PhD. In a PhD program, it's most likely you have to quit your job. You have to quit your job. You have to say goodbye to your family and hug your wife and kids and see you in 4 years, and you go to work almost full time in your research. Of course, that's not like very dramatic like this, but technically that's something like this will happen, especially for adults. When I did my PhD, I can't imagine myself doing PhD while I'm married, have kids, and have a job. It's impossible. For me, it's like a PhD. It's a full-time job designed for fresh master students. It's so complicated to have so many things at the same time while doing PhD, to have family, to have work, and to do PhD. That's so complicated. The PhD programs are not designed to accommodate that. So while DBA programs are designed to accommodate, it's designed actually for, not just, it is designed for working professionals, for those who would like to keep their job while doing their, doctorate. Of course, at the same time, they have family. So the flexibility in the program, it's an important feature. So when you compare again DBA, you compare DBA program with another DBA program from a public university, and that is, and that will make, you will have the answer actually when you do that. Okay. Is a master degree a requirement? Of course, it's a requirement. It is a requirement, and it's a relevant master degree. When we say the relevant master degree, so I'm interested in doing research in healthcare. I have a master degree in something related to healthcare. That's a relevant master degree. Of course, MBA, master in business, always relevant because it's business, it's management. But if you have something that is not within business and management, then we will talk about that. Is we're looking for that relevance piece. Any other question? Okay, here you go. Let's go to the next slide, Emara. Student, as I mentioned and highlighted, our students are working professionals who aspire to be leader in their field or sector. You do your MBA to advance your career. You do your doctorate, not just to advance your career. It's beyond your career. It's beyond an organization. You do your doctorate to become a subject matter expert, to have your own currency in the industry, because you are adding to human knowledge. You're producing knowledge in your name. You producing knowledge in your name. So it's beyond the boundary of a career, advancement of career, though it's an element, but working professionals who are interested in our DBA, they normally aspires to be leaders in their field or sector. They want to independently develop original impactful research on practice of management and are normally working full-time. what I would suggest, what I would recommend, and if possible, we have that on the chat. If we have a link to our existing student bio, that might be helpful. If someone could put that on the chat, so you could see who is with us right now, and you will see that who's with us right now actually meet these criteria. They are working professional, they are already leaders in their field, and they're working toward to have their own currency and brand in their field as subject matter expert, as leader. They are able to independently develop impactful research and working toward that. Actually, they all had master degree, relevant master degree, and they are coming from all walk of life, public, private, government, NGO, international, domestic, all walk of life. Here I see Catherine. I'm working in Singapore now. Do you think it's possible for me to enroll in the course, in the program? Yes, as time zone is different here and in Canada, and it requires me to have 3 residency. Yes, now we do have already a student from Singapore, I guess, coming this year. So I don't see that time difference is a problem. As I said, Catherine, the first year is course-based, and during courses, courses are designed to accommodate different time zones. So it is a synchronous discussion in the course. There will be live sessions, but most of these live sessions are recorded. So there wouldn't be a problem for you to be in a different time zone to attend these courses. Now, once you finish your courses, you work with your committee and your research, and you will have control over the pace of your work after the first year. And yes, you will need to attend the 3 residency. And these are a mandatory residency. And again, the first residency, 2 weeks, 1 week, and 1 week. Hope I answered your question. Next slide, Emara. Thank you, Catherine. Funding, I've got a couple of questions about funding, and I know it's a big investment. And when we say investment, not just financial investment, it's investment in your time, with investment, social investment. So you need to carefully think about that before you start a program. Now, for financial funding, we always recommend that you are able to self-fund yourself, especially for the first year. There will be limited internal program fundings at Royal Road. Last year we had like 2-3 internal grants for doctoral students, and these grants are, of course, the admission to these grants are competitive. There are many external funding opportunities, however. And we say really many external funding opportunity. I would highlight here the 2 most known funding source here in Canada: the SSHRC and MITEX. SSHRC, it's a government agency that offers funds to researchers, faculty, and students. Very competitive. MITEX, it's also a government agency that offers funds to researchers, students. MITEX open to international students, but there are specific requirements for both SSHRC and MITEX and other funding opportunity. Now, once you start the program with us, you will have a training how to approach funding opportunity, how to write proposal, grant proposal, because funding, it's not just important financially, it's also important for you as a researcher to have evidence that you received fund to support your research. More detail about funds, I will say you can find it on our website, Royal Road Financial Aid website. It's a fantastic website. I mean, there's a lot of information on that website. I'm sure you will have your answers once you go to the website. Next slide, Emara. Here you go. I guess this is my last slide, and over to you, Emara. How to apply?
Thank you so much, Hassan. And if there's any more questions that are coming up, pop them in the chat. The last 10 minutes here, we'll go through how to apply. And I wanted to start by saying the website has it detailed very specifically how to apply. You can literally follow it list by list for what's required. So I want to say that the website is the best resource, but we'll give an overview of how to apply to the DBA program. So for admissions, you are required to have a relevance master's degrees, as we mentioned before. So a relevant master's degree from a recognized university, normally with a minimum of a B GPA, and also normally a minimum of 7 years of relevant full-time work experience with 5 years at a management level. And we want you to demonstrate an increasing level of responsibility. And the DBA program is competitive admission. So key dates, these are always on our website as well, but the next intake is January 2nd, 2023, and the application deadline is October 2nd, 2022. So how to apply? We do ask that you fill out an online application. So you go onto our website, you create an account, and the online application fee is $128.81. And in addition to your online application, we are requesting supporting documents. So what we request is supporting documents such as official transcripts. So what does it mean to be an official transcript? It's all post-secondary institutions currently or previously attended, and it's sent to us, and for it to be considered official, it's in a sealed envelope, or it's sent directly from a recognized institution or authority in a sealed envelope or by email. So that's what it means to be an official transcript. In addition to your transcripts, we also request a detailed resume. So this is not going to be your standard 1 or 2 page resume that you would use to apply for a job. This is a very detailed resume because we really want to get to know you and learn more about you and your experience. So things that you'll include on your resume are things like your education, so include all your education degrees, certificates, diplomas, all of that important information, your professional experience. So this is where you would outline your work experience, your increase in responsibility. Please indicate any senior level appointments or kind of areas where you've had increased decision making. So that's what we want you to highlight on your resume. Also on your resume, it's a great opportunity to showcase any volunteer or unpaid work experience. Please list any professional memberships or affiliations and other relevant information that makes you you. And this is all listed on our website. So you can, I recently applied for a program and I actually went to the resume section and I just had headings by each of the things that we request from you and just kind of filled it in underneath. In addition, we request that you submit an initial proposal, and this is what we're going to talk more about on Thursday. So I popped the link in the chat earlier. Please come to our research workshop. We are recording part of the session, but because we're going to be having you share some of your initial research ideas, we're not going to be recording the discussion part, just the initial part of how to develop your initial proposal. So come to our session on Thursday, and we'll dive more into that. We also require 3 letters of reference for you, and the 3 letters are from people that are ideally can speak to your academic qualifications or your ability to conduct research. In those 3 letters, we want people to, oh, Hassan?
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight the importance of 3 letters of reference. Very important, and make sure that you ask people who can really speak about you, about your capacity to conduct research, to be critical. When we see a letter of reference coming from friend, we see it's okay, but that's not exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for letter of reference coming from your previous supervisors in your master degree, from academics, or from someone who can talk about you. So 2 academic letter of reference and 1 from the industry. Now, if you could not make that, it's okay. Send us an email, explain to us what happened. I sent something like, I contacted my supervisors, but they for some reason they are not there anymore. We lost track of their email. It's okay. This happened, and that's okay. But it's good that to keep us informed about why you could not arrange the letter of reference as in the website. Thank you, Emara.
Thank you for jumping in and adding those details. I appreciate it. So in addition to the 3 letters of reference, we also may request a writing sample. So that's a sample that could be a thesis chapter or a publication or professional report, as well as an interview may be required to just discuss suitability for the program. And as we discussed earlier, there is opportunity for financial aid and funding. Definitely check out the website. As Hassan mentioned, it's a great website and it really can help you determine what would be appropriate funding for you. So check that out. And this is the contact information as well. You can always set up an appointment with one of our knowledgeable financial planning experts that work at the university. And application support. We are here to support you. We understand that this is a big process and it's also a big investment. So we're here to make sure it's the appropriate program for you. We can, as you've met Tracy and Kelsey already, they're here to support that process. So don't hesitate to reach out. This is their contact information. I know they've added it as well in the chat. So if you're in Canada, you'd want to reach out to learn.more at royalroads.ca. And if you're coming internationally, learn.more.international@royalroads.ca. And as I've mentioned before, but I hope to see everybody there, we have a research discussion workshop on Thursday. So that is in the morning in Victoria, BC time, but it could be in the afternoon or in the evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Join us. The session is for anybody who's attended this webinar or watched a recording of this webinar or past webinars. We hope to see you there and we'll really dive into the initial proposal.
Thank you, Emara. Thank you. Thank you. A proposal is very important. And I see here a question from Catherine saying, question is, must the reference letter all mention about research, as we may be new to research? It's a very good point, by the way. And what I said, actually, it's your capacity, your potential capacity to do research. We understand that you haven't done research before. I mean, doctoral level research before, and that's okay. And that's why you will join the program. So if there is no opportunity to talk about your potential capacity to do research, it is also it's acceptable to know more about your potential capacity to lead in the industry. That's certainly acceptable. Ideally, you want to see both. I mean, your leadership quality and also your academic quality. We want to see both of them. Now, for if we couldn't see both of them, that's still fine, but that's case dependent, I would say. I mean, someone who graduated 20 years from their master degree, I mean, when they did master degree, it's so difficult to find someone to talk about their research while they're doing it, when they did the master, like 20 years ago. But someone who is in the industry doing, did master thesis 2-3 years ago, it's helpful to see a reference letter from someone in their master degree who helped them doing their research. So the answer, Catherine, to you, it's not a must. I would say it's a must. I would say it's recommended to see some language around your capability, your capacity to do research. And that could include, for example, your intellectual curiosity, your critical thinking, your ability to synthesis information. It doesn't need necessarily to have a word research there, but your intellectual and critical qualities might be some, attributes that will help us understand that you have the potential capability to do research. Did I answer your question? Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. It's an important question. And I see Sarah, would you say that research on HR is more related to PA or the social science doctor program? Well, that's a very, very good question. HR, human resource management, this is one of the key function in management. Clearly, this is business related, management and business related. Now, I've got that question always, what the difference between the doctor of social science and the doctor of business administration. I would say doctor of social science is more related to social aspects, while doctor of business administration more related to business organizational aspect. Now there is always overlap, and the best way to support you is to have a conversation one-on-one, or to send us the drafted proposal. So we will look at it and we say, you know what, this is more on the social aspect rather than management and organizational aspect. But if you talk about HR, human resource, this is certainly a management area. And if I remember correctly, Sarah, you are more on the HR and operation as well. So it's certainly a business related aspect. Yeah, people operation, correct. Did I answer the question, Sarah? Thank you. Yes. Did I miss any other question? Emara, Emara.
I can answer one of the questions that was in there about the research workshop. We do offer different times for it, and we will have more coming up. We also record the first part of the session. So where we're talking about how to develop your initial proposal, we have that recorded. So make sure to register for the session, even if you can't attend, and we'll send that recording. But where we discuss your specific research ideas, we don't record that. That we keep confidential within the Zoom room and the other people attending. And I know we're kind of coming up to the end of our session. So Hassan, is there any last words you'd like to share with the people in the room today?
I would like to thank you very much for joining us. I would like to tell you that we do understand this is a big decision, and that's why we are here. And that's why we are different at our university. We work with our colleagues, and we call our students colleagues. We work with our colleagues even before they start the program. And we help them, and we give them the right advice to tell them, you know what, this is maybe the right program for you, or maybe this is maybe not the right program for you. The most important thing is to support our colleagues to go through the process, because we understand that our colleagues are working professionals. They have commitment. They are not just fresh students, fresh graduate students doing their degree. No, they are working professionals, and it's our part is to give them the advice and to help them through the process. So with that, I would like to thank you very much for joining, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next workshop about research design. And again, if you have any question about your research, please send me emails, reach out, and I'm very happy to schedule, one-to-one, time for us.
Thank you so much, Hassan. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Tracy and Kelsey, for all of your support in the chat and for all of your answers. Hope to see everybody on Thursday, and please reach out if you need any support or have any questions for us. Hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or evening.